the table is big enough for everybody to eat well. And that's a part. And that's the issue when you have and you worried about losing versus giving and attaining. That's a different mindset. So we got to get people to see that, hey, I'm equal, you equal, I'm just like you. You just have options. I don't have options. Warren Buffett said the only difference for money, benefit of money is it gives me options. And a lot of people don't understand that, what that means. Options. Options that mean I can spend the money, I can do this, I can do different things that I can't do if I don't have options. And that's the difference. Options. It's not the ability, it's not the skill set, it's not your birth, where you was born. It's the option. And that's the only difference in wealth.
Tell me a little bit about your
Oh
background.
my God, how much time we have?
We got as much time as you need.
Huh? Well, wow, the story. Are we starting already?
If you're ready.
Okay, the story. Let me tell you a little bit about this guy named Norman. It's me. I'm originally born in Richmond, Virginia. Son of Norman Sr., who's passed away, and Esther, who both passed away. And they were middle class, working class family. My father, he was a laborer, moved himself up and worked himself to become a painter, started his own business, interior decorating. And my mother started as a housekeeper, which started herself and worked her way up to being a nurse. Um, I have a sister, had a sister, she passed away too. She was 2 years younger than me. COVID-19, she passed away in 2020.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, she was the first one. So that was very devastating for me. I was the first one in my family to go to college. Obviously, I played sports. I played basketball. I was blessed with that gift. I call it a gift. So I was able to get a scholarship. I went a little different route. I had several scholarships to go to Division I schools, but it wasn't school I wanted to go to. So I opted out. I had a coach call me, said, my mom said, well, go there. I went to a junior college. He said, why you going to go to a junior college? I had grades to get into Division I, but I wanted to develop my skills and develop more options. And this is all about options. So I went to this new school, brand new school out in Texas, West Texas, out in the tumbleweeds. It's called Snyder. And turned out to be great because at the end, uh, when I graduated, well, a couple things happened. We won the national championship, national champion. We also was able to represent the part of our team, the United States team. I was on the USA basketball team, and we went to South America, Brazil, Argentina, a couple other countries, and we won the gold medal,
Wow.
gold medal cup. So all American. So that worked out well. And the third part, we all graduated, and then the next part was that my options came. I had 64 offers, different Division I schools, and I opted to go back where? Home. So I went to a school in Richmond, Virginia Commonwealth. Went there, scholarship. Uh, did pretty well. Coach changed, so I transferred to another school, graduate school, at that time, Southern Mississippi. Uh, During that time was a lot of stuff going on. I got married, very young kid. So I got married, and it didn't work out, but it did work out. We had a child, a daughter, blessed daughter. She actually just had her birthday on the 16th of December, and I have two grandsons. So I just got back. Matter of fact, I just got back Monday. I was
Nice.
out there for Christmas, so we had spent time, and she got a job. She was a stay-at-home mom. They got a job in Las Vegas, and she worked for one of the major entertainment agencies out there. Doing well. Had a good time out there with them. Got to do a little business while I was out there. Made some contacts, which I do everywhere I go. I make contacts and stuff like that. And so I'm back directly from there. And of course, to talk about a little about the story, I had some situations out there occurred to me, happened. Had a job offer. Actually, I got a contract, matter of fact, with my business to do some work in West Asia. I My background a little bit, so I'm telling you about the family part of it. But for me myself, during the time after I finished college, I played a little basketball, more basketball. But then, again, family had to take care of family. So I started work, and I started work for the Commonwealth of Virginia as a counselor at the prison, State Farm in Richmond. I don't know if you know about it. It's the prison system there. So I went there as a lay counselor slash recreation supervisor slash coach. So it was kind of fun. I stayed exactly 18 months. I went in. My approach was a little bit different. I was a athlete person going in, so I was able to immediately draw attention from the inmates. Uh, we had some good situations, we had some bad situations, but at the end of the day, we had respect. I was able to have a basketball team. I was able to take the first. Now, this is a maximum security prison. I was able to take the first team off the site to another site to play a basketball game. So we went to the Richmond Penitentiary. We had a big tournament and game. Of course, we won the tournament.
Of course.
Of course, we won the tournament. So the guys was, I was like, you remember the old movie we used to call it The Great White Hope, the Great.
I remember the movie. I don't know the
Yeah,
name.
well, it was something about but it was a basketball game. So the guys put together a team, and I did some of the plays and stuff. So I put together this ragtag team. I had this guy, almost 7 foot, white guy, looked like Sasquatch. He had a big old long hair. He had a hook shot, and he was very clumsy. He was there. Then I had this other guy who was a probably NBA player. He could have been. Then a couple other players and a lot of role players. So we ran and went down there, and the funny part is that Sasquatch, or the big guy. So we gave him the ball. He got the ball the first shot, and he from the top of the key, he turned around and did a hook shot, and everybody went crazy. After that, everything went crazy. So he got hyped up and was playing everything else like that. So it was a big part of that. That life was on the way back on the bus. Everybody was like clapping, high five, this and that. Looked like even the guards was happy. Everybody was joking. So that worked out pretty well for a while. And then I said, well, time to move on to do different things because I started learning real question of what this system was about, the penal system, whatever. So I made a decision. Actually, I had an offer to come. I got into law enforcement, believe it or not, and was at a different type of law enforcement. It was law enforcement at a university level. So I got into higher education, what I call higher learning, law enforcement. So I got an offer back at my University of ECU to work in the police department there. Well, I went to the academy, police academy. It's a state certified state academy. I went to the academy, and I said, okay, let me try it out. I tried it out. So I went there. Well, I finished uh, tied for first in the class. 6 months academy. I came out with uh, actually my GPA was like, let me see, what was it? 4 point, it was 4.0 on the 4.8 scale, was 4.97 GPA. Only missed one score I remember that one test was like one answer on a legal question. So everything else 100%. So I said, okay, we graduated, we did that, went into training, and I didn't expect. I said, well, I'm just going to be an officer. I'm just going to be an officer. I went out to an officer, and the chief said, oh, no, 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 no. I got through field training, and he immediately said, well, I got something for you, Norm. I said, what do you mean? He said, I want you to be head of our training division. I said, I'm just a rookie. He said, no, I want you to be a training officer. So I became the field training officer. So I wrote the first manuals I could write. Apparently, I could write. I wrote the first manual on field training, and it went well for a while. And then another promotion came up. Was second in charge of the squad. You had the commander, ship commander, then it was the officer. So I was voted, appointed to be a officer in charge. So I did that for a while. And then opportunity came again, a lateral transfer, and a federal job situation came up. So I was applying for jobs. So this is about 5, 6, 7 years ago. I was in it, and I applied and got both. Of course, got both positions. One was working for the Department of the Navy as an investigator in China Lake, and the other one was to go lateral transfer up to Northern Virginia, which is where I came up here. So it was a position opened up at a new university called George Mason University. So I said, okay, let me do lateral transfer or do I go to California? Well, I took the lateral transfer. One reason, one, I got a pay hike because North Virginia, Southern Virginia has a difference. So I got a big pay hike. And I had 7 years in, so I did a lateral transfer. So I came in at a higher scale. So I got an immediate boost in that. Okay, so I came up, did a lateral transfer. Well, once again, 6 months into the thing, the chief called me and said, we want to promote you. So a position came up as supervisor, sergeant, and the chief promoted me to sergeant. So I became a sergeant after 6 months on the job. And me taking in mind, the people who were training me now was their supervisor. Some people liked it, and some people
didn't.
resented that. And particularly, as you know, a man of color. I was the first one to be promoted, a man, like that. And I said, well, for me, it wasn't no big deal. Some people, and I'm a Capricorn, and being an athlete, I had my approach was, this is how we're going to do it, and let's do it. And some people want to negotiate and groups therapy. I said, no, understand, appreciate that, but this is how it's going to be done. Let's do it. So some people didn't like that, some people, but they adjusted, got along. But I had like matter of fact in your faces. Well, I'm 6'8", you're very, you're very aggressive and very assertive. I said, well, I am who I am. She said, well, the guy said, well, you're intimidating. I said, no, intimidation, you know the word intimidation means. Intimidation is self in, out. It's not me. I am who I am. And if they're intimidated, that means they have something to deal with. I said, you have to deal with me. But I understand. I'm just a guy.
Thank you for the
I
feedback.
thank you for the feedback. So I work with him, whatever. And he's same time. So during that time, I had a lot of things happen. I got promoted to a sergeant. Start working. I'm a big community policing guy. So because of that experience I had and being in the Washington national metropolitan area, I am a very gregarious guy. I like to meet a lot of people. So I met people. So the chief started sending me out to different departments. I was doing assessments. I was doing promotion boards. I was on committees. I was doing stuff. I was doing stuff in D.C. and whatever. So of course, during that time, I'm meeting everybody, engaging everybody and stuff like that. So I made lots of connections, and I took advantage of training. I'm a big training guy. I was head of the training division. That was one of the jobs I had. I was the director of training. I became there's a process called accreditation, law enforcement accreditation. I was appointed the accreditation manager for the department and also became a national assessor. So I went out to different agencies all over. So I was all over the place. So, they had me going all over the place. So, she said, well, I put you on these committees to do stuff, but every committee he put me on, I tend to gravitate to being either the chairman or, someone close, high up like that. So, I just meet people and whatever. So, no, we think you should be in charge. I said, okay, well, whatever, let's do it. So it got to a point where I was doing more committees and doing stuff outside than I was in the agency. And she said, well, wait a minute, I said, well, you sent me there, you put me there, you sent me to D.C., and he said, well, we just want you to go there for information. No, they made me the head of it, and I was like, okay, let's deal with that. So at the same time, I'm taking notes, meeting people, and doing stuff like that. So at the same time, I'm also, I work in a university environment, so I was also engaging with the students,
Yeah.
faculty, and staff. And so, of course, the administration wanted me to turn to a faculty staff administrator, but I was a state employee, so they had to create a new position. They called me. I got another promotion too. I got a promotion, lieutenant. So they made me a campus administrator. So I was in charge of the George Mason had several campuses. The Fairfax campus, excuse me, but they had all the campuses. Prince William, the Arlington, the law school, whatever. So they made me the administrator of all of the campuses. So I was a head of safety, public safety, security, and stuff at all the other campuses. So, I had police forces there. You're familiar with the law school. I started the law school. You're familiar with the Prince William campus. There's a place there called the Center for National Biodefense. I started that.
Oh, nice.
Yes, I was in charge of developing and putting all together the security, law enforcement, and stuff like that. So at the same time, I'm still meeting people, doing different things. So that went on. I retired from the state system in Georgia, everything in the state system in 2013. So I accumulated about 39 years, 38, 39 years in that field. So 3 years before that retirement, I said, well, I got a plan. I'm a planner. I got a plan. What I'm going to do the next step, because I'm not going to, at the end of this, I'm not going to do it. So I just started to start my own little business, a consultant business, to take advantage of all these things. So I said, well, let me just start as a private consultant. And I had an epiphany one morning. I woke up 3 in the morning, went downstairs. It was 2010. And I said, well, something told me to start writing. So I'm started writing stuff. You know how they do them 3 o'clock meetings? I start writing in the morning, and next thing you know, it's sunrise. So by the time sun rose, I had a new company.
Wow.
And I call it N3 Global Solutions. And they said, well, how do you come up with that name? I said, well, the issues I want to address is dealing with global solutions, but my mindset is local connections, providing a global solution to local connections. And what do you mean? I said, well, everything Washington, D.C., everything comes into Washington, D.C., everything affects everything else. And this is after 9/11. And that's another story, too, after 9/11. Notice everything affects everything. We had after 9/11, everybody went crazy. I was actually on 9/11, exactly 9/11, I was the acting chief of police. My chief was in California. So I was actually managing everything. So I noticed there was a whole lot of stuff and a whole lot of issues dealing with personal, like people were acting to each other, acting out. We doing stuff right now. We doing stuff right now. What's going on in the Middle East? But anyway, I was able to come up with this concept idea of helping people. How can I help people? And I had the concept of, I said, There's 3 things I can do: water, energy, education. And he said, why them 3 things? I said, they're the pillars of a community. I'm talking about a social infrastructure. We want to develop the infrastructure. Why? Well, the village, the community is an essence of everything else that goes on. If we don't, and I notice if we don't go back to the basics of developing, the woman is the family, that they're in charge of the family. The man go out and hunt, the woman take care of the family in the village. The children is our generational offspring. We have to develop it. So we don't start the foundation of that at the ground level. The rest of it, you can't catch up. I'm noticing you don't get it in high school. You're not going to get it in college. So you have to start before they get there because you can't train an adult. Once they get on an adult, they got that way. Certain period after 7 years old, you start developing pattern stuff. So you want to catch them before they get to a level. So what we're talking about? Well, you can go out and get a job. People go out and get jobs. People get degrees, go to school, this and that, whatever like that. But they end up working with somebody. At the end, they're not fulfilled. They're just working on, my term, plantation. A plantation. People say, well, why you use that word? I said, well, when you work, give up your dreams and you work for someone else and they pay you for that, they're profiting from your skills and ability. And at the end of the day, you may just get a pension check or you may not even live through it, but you're gonna get a few dollars, but at the end of the day, you're never gonna fulfill your dreams. So the key is to start something where you can start your own business, learn a skill. Well, they don't teach much of that. I went to business school and whatever like that, but they never teach you how to start. They just teach you how to do business, work for somebody, but never to start your own business. And as we know now, the most uh, profitable, what we call wealthy, or the people who have things, they can do things, they have their own business. You have to find something that is unique to you, and everybody has a unique special skill. Enhance that through training or whatever like that. Have a good mentorship and engage in that in an environment where you're comfortable in. So you have to do that at home, in the village level. The mother, the father, the community all supports that, and you start nurturing that. You start with the skills, what they do best, and then you enhance it with education, training, and everything else. But at the end of the day, you have that entrepreneurship mindset, what I'm going to do for myself. So my concept is the basic is to work with these communities, mostly the underserved. No use messing with you. You already there. You're there. You got your mindset. You already making it. You already doing it. Whatever you do. But we want to start from the beginning and get people in the mindset. Well, I can do. I can develop. I can develop my own. And all the other things comes along. With the network, and now with communications, AI, and everything else, there's no reason you can't communicate with anybody else around the world. I do it every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way. So you have a unique special skill. You should be able to enhance that through like-minded people in other parts of the world. You may be thinking this, and someone else is thinking exactly the same thing on the other side of the world. I've seen it, I've done it, I do it every other day. You're thinking this, and someone else is thinking the same thing. But the only good thing is y'all haven't communicated. So you want to communicate and create these networks, these hubs, and work together on finding solutions. I think a lot of stuff that's going on today could be resolved if we start communicating. I have friends who are in Gaza. I have friends in Jerusalem, and they've been. I'm talking to these people every day, and they've been living with each other for 40, 50 years. But we got a war going on. These are the same. The Arabs, they got the Jews. They've been working. Their kids work together. They go to school together. They have bakery. They share stuff. But they said this whole thing is political stuff. But that's another story. That's another story we can talk
I'm
about.
here for it.
Yeah, that's a whole story. It's going on. It's but the people. What I'm saying, the people are still people,
Yeah.
and they do work out things and whatever. And you said, well, what do you mean work out? I said, the answer to that is look at each other. You here, I'm here. We are offsprings of somebody else. So they had to do something successful in order for it to get here. They had to work it out. They worked it out. We are a living testament of it because we are here, proof. So why can't we get this thing done? So I'm working on stuff with that. I'm working with the different focus groups. I'm working with different governments and stuff like that. The whole point is basically get back to the basics. We need to learn that human are human. We need to work things out at the ground level and take the politics out or the self-serving.
When you say
part.
take, I was gonna say, what do you say take the politics out?
Well, I mean, we have people who have self-serving. There are certain self-serving
Agendas.
agendas. That's the word. Agendas out there that is not conducive to the people we're talking about. I'm talking about the people who don't have. They're, you have the group of people who want to maintain. Their issue is to sustain and maintain, and everybody else is trying to obtain. There's the issue. I'm trying to get something, you're trying to keep it. So the issue we're dealing with now in the world is basically the ones who have don't want to lose it, don't want to share, don't want to give it up. They think they got something, but the problem is once you have something and you don't, and you attain it through other means. I didn't say fraudulent means, but other means, and you don't spread it across and let it grow. You always have to be looking behind your back and what's going on or losing it. Because if you lose it, you don't have anything. You don't have anything, and you don't want to go back because you have done certain things to get there, and it's payback. Karma is payback. Karma is a payback.
Isn't that kind of the root of a lot of big issues that have happened in the world?
Yes, I'm dealing. Oh my goodness, that is it. That's it. I mean, it's that simple, but it's that complicated. Self-serving issues. My background, I'm giving you my background working. I have a little bit more knowledge on that most people. I worked in counterterrorism. That's part of the stuff I was doing here in Washington. I worked with the three-letter agencies. I still do some stuff with them. And the issue is there's agendas and then there's the people. Any situation, the people always suffer from agendas. Ukraine, I got people, the same thing in Ukraine, that whole thing. You notice Ukraine is tying in with the Middle East. The Middle East is tying in with everything else, Taiwan, Yemen, as we saw today. Everything is all linked together. It's all on agendas. The people are suffer. The people always suffer in the war. We go back anywhere, through time. If wars was fought between the two leaders, it would be okay. But it's the people who suffer. That's what war is. As Robert Lee said, war is hell. And it is because the people suffer. The people who start the war, they usually go off somewhere else, start something else, and whatever like that, But we have to get back to a point where the people need to, and particularly now with communications, we can communicate people knowledge. They know more. The autumn spring. I don't know if you know about how the autumn spring uprising in Egypt happened years ago. It was based on two college students went together. One went to school together. One went back home. One didn't go back home. They found like, hey, I'm making money. I'm suffering. This is not working. That's what uprising started. So the whole point is peace of mind. Families need to take. If everybody could take care of their families, basic stuff, Maslow's, basic stuff, food, shelter, eat. People don't care. It doesn't matter. But if you don't have the basic stuff, people are not going to now tolerate that. I'm driving a Bentley. I'm living in a ditch. Yeah. Same neighborhood, same environment. It doesn't work anymore. People are not going to accept it. And everybody has a right to their own space. Not getting into what's going on. Everybody should have their own space and shouldn't be oppressed by other people. And that's basic human rights. Basic human rights. I want to live and take care of my family, and I don't care what else you do. That's basically what we're looking at right now. So we have to get to that.
And how do you feel? Like, I know you just gave me a good idea of your background.
Yeah.
Why do you care so much about this?
I care because I've been blessed. And as a saying, the ones who been blessed has great responsibility. So my responsibility, particularly, I noticed when I was in South America, in Brazil, I noticed how people had so little, but they gave so much. And my thing is, why can't we help these people do better? At least have a decent life. They don't want much of a decent life. And all you need is a basic things. They need proper skill, training, skills, and access to. We don't have to give it. We don't have to tell them everything. We have to just show him and give me access to. I have people in Africa. We don't want the money. We don't want stuff. We don't want to give us the The ability ensures how to do it. And we can take care of ourselves. So my whole thing is we want to get out of the colonial mindset, the colonialism mindset. We come in, we tell them what to do and this and that. That doesn't work. Show me what's going on. I know what's going on. I've been here hundred thousands of years. I know what my community needs. Give me the resources, give me the access to training, resources, train me, and leave me alone. And let it happen. And teach them how to, the mindset of starting their own business. And you start your own business, a whole lot of different things happen. Economics happen. I can take it myself. I can do internet stuff now. I can trade. I can. The mind is great. You got a great mind, but the ability and the access to that is very limited because of the agendas.
I was going to say, why do you think that we keep giving people fish versus teaching them how to fish? Why are we?
Well, now we'll get into it. It's a term I call, you ever heard a term called Global South and Global North?
Mm-mm.
It's a term, you look it up after, but basically the Global North is basically the countries or the agendas that have the resources, technology, funds, whatever like that. The Global South is the ones that do not. And they are basically the workload. They're the ones who will be able to provide the Global South. The Global South is it been kept in that situation
But they have the
because
raw resources too.
they have the raw resources, and I mean human and resources.
Yeah.
The global north benefits from that. All right. So thinking about that, I said, well, what's the difference? Well, I have all the resources, I have the but I don't have the control. Why is that? Well, it's a way of controlling because I can give you a fish, but I'm not going to teach you how to catch it, and I'm going to teach you how to cook it, and I definitely not going to teach you how to sell it. Because if you did that, that means I can sit at the table for you, or matter of fact, I have my own table, and I don't need you, and so you lose control. So it's all about controlling. Somebody always want to be on top. Someone always got to support them. But if we're at an even level, now we got an issue because now it comes out I have more ability than you do. All you have is control. You don't have skill set. Once we get to the mindset, and that's what we want to get to, that you have the ability, the natural ability to do that, you don't have to be subservient to anyone in it. And the people who are currently holding the throne or holding the crown don't have the same ability. They know that. So it's a control thing. They're worried about being treated. And here's the funny part. The people who don't have the mindset of, once I get it, I'm going to put you down. They don't care. They want everybody to be happy. But the other ones who don't have the ability, who has control, worried about that, they think like I do. I think like, well, if I let him have it, he's going to make me start washing dishes, or he's going to put me in the dumpster. He's going to, no, it's not about that. The table is big enough for everybody to eat well. And that's a part. And that's the issue when you have and you worried about losing versus giving and attaining. That's a different mindset. So we got to get people to see that, hey, I'm equal, you equal. I'm just like you. You just have options. I don't have options. Warren Buffett said the only difference for money, benefit of money, is it gives me options. And a lot of people don't understand that, what that means. Options. Options that mean I can spend the money, I can do this, I can do different things that I can't do if I don't have options. And that's the difference. Options. It's not the ability, it's not the skill set, it's not your birthright, where you was born. It's the option. And that's the only difference in wealth. That's it. That's
So how do you get people that? How do you start to shift that mindset? Or is it possible? I know it sounds like that's what you're dedicating your.
Yeah, it is. It's I say a cause, a mission. Is my. I guess I've been. That's my mission, is to get it across to people, and you have to start at the low level, at the village community level, to get people thinking and get the. My thing is the generational. I'm talking about stuff. What we doing now, it was planned 20 years, 40 years ago. I'm talking about the next 20, 30, 40 years to get the kids in the mindset and the families in the mindset that, hey, you need to start your own business. You need to get the right training and that certainty. You need to network. You need to think about your fellow man. You need to start thinking about mankind or humankind. How am I going to leave this place? How am I going to make it better? Because you're living for the day. Tomorrow, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
It's not going to be here. Where we going right now, we're burning up more real estate than we have. And we're not going to have anything. And we're not catching up, training and developing ourselves. We're just living day by day. And the technology is going to move and replace workload. Right now, we're already seeing that workloads, working, if you don't have a certain skill set, your college degree don't mean anything, your work experience don't mean anything. If you don't have certain skill sets, you out because machines are taking place. So where are you going to be? Where are you going to be? There's no place for you. There's no need for you. And then we get into the real dark stuff that we don't have any place for you. So what we do with you? COVID stuff going on. We can go into a whole lot of stuff going on there that is not necessary for you to be here. We don't need you. We can't feed you. You're taking up space we don't need. It's no longer so a certain number of people that the earth can support. So you have to understand. You have to find your place. Now, take in mind, everybody born with a certain skill. You have to define what that is. You need to develop that at a very young age and work towards that. Don't wait until you're 20, 21. Oh, I'm going to find myself 30, 30. Well, it's done because already a place for you.
Yeah.
You're going to be working for somebody else on that plantation, I call you.
Yeah.
You're going to be working for somebody else, and you're not going to like it because you're going to only be able to live within that scope of that area, and that causes frustrations and a whole lot of stuff we going on right now because people losing their mind because they don't know that place.
Do you feel like your views are very controversial in your field? Or is it more widely accepted?
It's very controversial. But that's okay because I'm a change agent. My whole point is to change. People's like, and I said, well, my scope is funny because when I talk about this stuff, a lot of people get real quiet.
Oh, that's because I could have conversations with you for a long
Yeah.
time about
Yeah, people get very quiet.
I want to give you the mic because I don't want to take.
I want to hear that. I want to hear that because it's a conversation. People get very quiet,
Yeah.
very quaint, and I'm a very one of my colleagues said, "No, my face is what you see. I if I like you, I like you. If I don't, you know it. I can't conceal that." He said, "I go in the room and I know it's 2 minutes. I was in Vegas with some friends and we walked in the Fountain Blue. He said, Norm, your face said it all." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Your expression said, your whole body language says it all." I said, "Well, I just can't."
No
It
poker
is.
face.
It's no. I don't have a poker face. I said, I don't
No,
like
I
it.
love it. For me, I'm saying this because I don't hear this type of conversation often. Most of the times when we've got some time in between guests, this girl over here has to listen to me rant and rave about whatever is going on, and
Well,
I love it.
well, that's why I talk to people all the time. I ask them what your background is because
Yeah.
basically, I do a lot of training. I do a lot of teaching, and basically my approach is basically I need to know who you are so I can make my approach to you because I want to know exactly who you are because it's no use me talking to you if you're not going to listen to me or understand me unless you know that I care anything about you. If I don't care, if you don't know, feel that we're not going to have that proper interaction. We need to share, and that's where it need to go. Everywhere I go, all over the world, I start out find out exactly who you are and
So
what
when
you
I said
about.
my father's from
Yes.
Iraq, you said she gonna care about this Gaza situation right now.
Well, I am. No, it's a mindset because like I said, I'm becoming the authority. I guess an authority of the, and I use the term West Asia, and people don't know what that means. You know what it means.
Yeah.
It's that whole region, not the Middle East. This I guess Asia, that whole West Asia, whole mindset. And I was in South America, and I got an office in Paris. I'm doing stuff in Africa, but the mindset outside of the continental United States is a whole different mindset on how we approach each other and like that. So my approach is a little bit different. It's more of a global approach to different things, and I look at things. How did that global approach affect how we do things locally? And now, even here in Ashburn, Leesburg, we're now global.
Yeah.
It's no more. No, we all from somewhere else. We're all part of somewhere. We're not from somewhere else. Our families or somebody else associated. So everything that happens in the world affects everything that we do today.
Yeah.
And so we have to start thinking that way. And that's one approach I have. People say, "Well, man, that don't affect us. That don't happen." I said, well, "Okay," until then you found out what happened on 9/11.
Yeah.
It happened. Now it affects everybody. Everybody was affected that way somewhere. They knew somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody if it wasn't in your direct family. So we one league touch away from being involved. We engage right now, today. We got stuff going on today that's going to have effect. I just been appointed a position to represent a company, Japanese company, to deal with renewable energy resources solutions, and I'm assigned to represent them as a business development executive in West Asia. Do stuff there. They're very particular who they want to use it. They're currently using the stuff. We're ability to take garbage and turn it into energy. Everything.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But they don't want to give it to everybody because everybody will not, it will misrepresent them, they abuse it and whatever. So they have a brand, a 20-year brand, and they're very particular about who they want to introduce this to and whatever, which I respect because you got to have a purpose. What's the outcome? It's not about making money. You notice I haven't said anything about making money. Money comes, flows, and the money comes from, and the wealth comes from training and developing the people. The people will go out and do what they need to do. You will benefit from everything they do tenfold. Trust me, tenfold. It has happened. It's happening. But you got to get the people in the right mindset that they can do for themselves with the proper resources. And so that's what I'm approaching. I'm doing. I've done things in Africa. I got things going on right now, and we use private funding. Some government stuff comes in with attachments,
Yeah.
but the goal is to empower the people to take care of themselves. And we got sustainable energy resources now. We got technology. Now the AI stuff, people don't understand how that affects. It can be a blessing or a curse. A blessing or a curse. Either way, it depends on how we approach it. You know, it can replace you or it can enhance you.
Yeah.
It's depending on which side you want to be on. And most people lazy. Most people are lazy. They want to take the short way out, but they don't understand. But you got to engage. You got to be involved. I use the term either you evolve or you dissolve,
That's good.
and just that simple. You want to be here. You want to do something. You want to have a legacy, or at the end of the day, I look at I just had a birthday last Friday,
Happy birthday.
and what is your the question is, what do you want to leave behind? What do you want to pass on? And I ask most people, I say, well, so what's your, as most people ask them, what is your legacy? At the end of the day, what do you want people to tell you? What you want people to say about you when you're not here? He said, what do you mean? I said, well, I said, two things, guy. I'm telling you, I'm an old guy now. Two things that we get very limited of: my time and my energy, and don't waste it. I can't waste it. So everything I do has to have a purpose, has to have a focus. So when you ask me why I'm doing this, I say have a focus because the legacy has, I got grandkids and everybody's got grandkids and whatever. So I want to go there one day, sit on a palm tree, drink something more spicy than this, on a palm tree and watch the world go by.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be disappointed that everything I know didn't happen and could have happened. Knowledge. Because human beings are creatures of habit. It takes 10,000 iterations to change a bad habit. 10,000. I do training. Change a bad habit. We have to catch them very young because once they get into the mindset, they're not going back to the same habits. We're doing things that our great-great-grandparents, you doing things now that your great-great-grandparents did, and you don't even know why. It's in your DNA. So we have to focus on what we're doing, be conscious what's going on, and not repeat the same issues that they have. They struggle, they survive. We may not, because of we've been replaced with automation and technology. We become unnecessary. Then what? Then what? You're talking about aliens coming. Well, aliens been around and all. I said, well, we the aliens because everybody else has been going on. We just discovering that we're not here alone.
Yeah.
And people think, oh, you think you the only one?
Yeah.
You the first one? And see, that's the mind. Well, that's a, let's see, American mindset. Most people don't, other people don't think that. You the only one, you the Bob. Well, we can go to another story about the history. You talk about your Navajo, my family, the first families of the Virginia. Well, I could talk all the way back to Jamestown. Part of that, Virginia is rich in history, but we also this country started here in Virginia. A lot of stuff going on, and a lot of stuff is still being repeated because we don't know our history or we don't care about history. A lot of stuff we don't know. So people don't, people. It's a lot. It's a story out there. So part of the education. When I say education, yes, the former, but it's the education who you are. You got to know who you are, where you come from. So that only way you can move forward, you got to know your roots. You don't know where you come from. How are you going to do anything?
Yeah.
You don't know where you come from. You just evolved. I just was born here on a rock today, and they say, oh, you think you're the only one? No. It doesn't happen that way. Evolution doesn't happen that way. So we have to come conscious of what's going on and slow down a little bit and start looking and seeing the grass grow and appreciating this and talking to each other, because that conversation, you'll learn more about yourself in that conversation.
And I say, I'm learning more, just keep my mouth closed in this conversation.
Well, I'm just sharing with a little bit. Just
love
just
it.
a
No.
little bit. I'm just a guy. I tell people I'm just a guy. I've been around. I've seen a lot of people. A lot of people engage me on different things. I'm a official. I'm a advisor. I advise people. I advise a lot of important people, and I talk to them just like I'm talking to you. I talk to people you wouldn't believe, and we have the same conversation. And they said, well, ask me, well, how do you deal with it? I said, well, you do what's natural. It's very simple. That's basic. Break it down, human to human. Would you treat him the way he's treating you? Would you treat him what is the right way? And everything else after that comes very simple. It's basically, I'm a human, you're a human. How do we treat each other? And all the rest of the stuff don't matter.
Yeah.
Don't matter. Because there's enough at the table. Because right now we're worrying about losing or getting something. I'm worried about losing something versus something you really didn't have. You don't have anything. And I can get into that story too. We came here by ourselves, we're going to leave by ourselves. Trust me. Everything you think you have is on loan. It's not yours.
Yeah.
All you have is your skin, and that is not yours. It was your parents that gave it to you. It's not yours. You don't even own your skin. And so how you expect to have everything else? You don't even own it. It's not yours.
Yeah.
It was given to you, whoever sourced it. You didn't have anything to say about that. So what we want to do with what we have. We got the moment. We got a very short period of time on Earth. We think we got a lot of time. We don't have that much time, and we got a very limited time on doing it. So we need to start getting back. It's very simple. Talk to each other, get to the people, figure out what's going on, figure out what your skill sets, and go for it. Put together a plan.
Who are besides the 3-letter agencies that you work with, who are the different types of people that you work with? Groups, companies?
I work with private companies. I work with governments.
And what are the problems that they're having before they engage you?
Usually, excuse my French, they're in a cluster. They're in a cluster. They don't know what's going on. They try different things. They try different gimmicks. They try different things. And most of the time, they are political issues. They are politicians who are on verge of losing their office because they haven't addressed the issues of a people. I'm a political commentator for a news service in a country in Southeast Asia. She just got reelected. I mean, I name the country. I work, yeah, them, and they got tremendous issues. And what they do, as a matter of fact, they are looking on how to resolve the issues with the people. And basically, all I'm saying is what I told you, the same thing. You got to address the needs of the people, not the needs of your agenda. And they looking for ways on doing it. And I said, well, it's not, you're talking to me. You already know, but you don't understand what's going on because of you've been privileged. You've been giving certain things, and you lost touch with the people. Yeah, so it's so they're the main ones. The main ones, I got stuff in South America, same situation. Governments, I got stuff in West Africa, West Asia, Africa, same things. The leaders have not maintained their level of touch with the communities. Some of them have taken money from other places to make themselves look good. But at the end of the day, now it comes to the point where now we're getting uprisings.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting governments now being, these coups and stuff going on. And it's all because somebody has been bought, sold, and paid for. And I'm driving a Bentley with the Brooks Brothers suits, and I'm got a guy who's taking a poop in the street right now and living off your cigarette ashes. And it doesn't have to be. And all that person wants is a way to take care of themselves and the family. And then they don't care what you do.
Yeah.
And it doesn't, and you know what? It doesn't take that much. So they want to come in now and approach people like me to give them solutions. And the solution is basically get back to basic, put programs in place where you empower the people to take care of themselves. Give them the resources. And once they start giving the resources to take care of themselves, you good.
Yeah.
You good. But they're worried that these people who are underserved will get the answer and the trigger and the special question and take over.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work that way. See, they worrying about they like them. You act like I'm this way, so everybody think the same way I do. No, all they want to do is take care of their family and their neighborhood and put food on the table. And after that, that's it.
They're good.
That's very simple. I can take care of myself. I can get I can drive. I can get a car. I got heat. I got lights in the house, and I got running water. The rest of it, you can do what you want to do. And I'm trying to basically, we are trying to convey this to them, but their trust level is very distrusting because they don't trust themselves. They think, well, they're gonna cut our heads
Take
off.
what I have, yeah.
In some cases, that may happen,
Mm-hmm.
but most cases, if you treat people right, they'll treat you right. That's the common sense. Treat people. They got to care. Back to again, people will only listen once they figure out that you care something about them. How you do? Well, my kids need medical care. I got kids who have special needs. I have food on the table. I don't have enough money to get medicine. I don't have enough. My grandmother don't have anything. Place to go. I can't get any. I can't get resources for them. I can't. I don't have. I don't know what I'm gonna do tomorrow. I eat today. I don't know about tomorrow or next week. Uh, I need medicine for my situation. I don't have shelter. I don't. Stuff like that. Very simple, basic stuff. And it's okay, we give that to them. They don't want you to give that to them. They want to get it themselves. They want to have the basic, you're still a human being. I want to have that, dignified. I'm dignified human. I can take care of myself. Give me the resources so I can take care of myself. And that's it.
Love
That's
that.
it. It's a goal.
All right. So to wrap this up, what is one message to kind of summarize your mission and
Wow.
Like if you had a microphone where you could speak to the entire world, what would that message be?
I think we as a people need to recognize that we need each other. And we need to get rid of all the external stuff and get down to the basics. I need you, you need me, and let's get together and do this. That's it. A lot of other stuff goes on in there, but basically, people are people, and we need to realize that. Sit down, have a conversation. I do it all the time. Different people. I said, wow, I had that same thought. I'm on a different part of the world, different language or whatever, same idea. But we get down till we start talking. The conversation. Once you have the conversation, you have more similarity than you have differences. And once you realize that, everything else can be worked out. Everything. We're here on Earth for a reason. We're one human group. You can come from a dark side, you can come from the light side, cold side, this side, whatever. But we all the same thing. We inhabit the crust of the earth. We inhabit the earth. We're not the earth. We just inhabit. We're supposed to be stewards of it and take care of everything else. But we, some reason, think we the one and only. We're not. Evolution will prove that.
No denying that. Thank you so much for
Thank
being
you.
on the
Yeah.
Alamon show. I feel like I just, scored with having you here on this show.
Well, I
and
thank you.
yeah, this is
It was a
amazing.
pleasure.